Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here. We're back. We're doing a best of one M21 draft. Alright, draft has fired, and what do we got? Actually, I have some real choices here. Our rare is Gadrak, which is a good card, especially this early, because it's got to be at its best in a deck with a lot of removal, or a deck like Rakdos Sack where you have a lot of cards dying. Otherwise, Palladium Mirror is colorless. You play it in any deck and you're happy you have it. Gadrak is definitely a little bit more specific in which deck you want it, but it is also just a 5/4 flying blocker at worst for a while, which is really good. So I suppose we'd probably take it. There's also Brontodon, which is a really nice card to have. It's also just a 3-mana 3/4 with upside. Pride Malcolm good for Selesnya, Hunter's Edge good for any green deck, particularly Selesnya. Chorister good for black-white life gain or any white deck. Quite a few good cards in here. I'm going to take Gadrak over Palladium Mirror. I'd say I wouldn't fault anybody for taking Palladium Mirror there. So follow-up pick. There's not actually a good red follow-up pick. The best card in this pack by quite a bit is Patrician, one of the better black-white life gain payoffs. There is Warden of the Woods, which is a nice 6-drop that I like. But I think we'd take the strongest card here, which is Patrician by quite a bit, I think. Now I'm trying to remember if there was good black-white life gain in that first pack. I can't remember. But I'm happy taking a Patrician here and not giving up anything too nuts. Warden of the Woods, a Pride Malkin. I mean, I think Patrician is clearly the strongest card here for its archetype. Well, I love Houndmaster, one of my favorite cards in the format. Not favorite cards, why would I say that? Favorite cards to play because it's broken. One of my least favorite cards to play against because it's broken. Yeah, it's a 2-mana draw 2 that gets boosted for each other attacker when it's attacking. It's not a very fair or well-designed card, in my opinion, especially at uncommon. I mean, if it found one less card, it would still be nuts. If it found no cards and still had the upside with the attackers, it would be very good. If it was rare with this full set of abilities, it would still be insane. It just is a really powerful uncommon. And I'm fine taking it here and sort of figuring out where we're supposed to be. No problems there. Alright, pick 4. So, choices. Best card is Roman Ghostlight. We don't have anything in color with that. There's only one red card left in the pack, and it's not one I particularly like. Could take the Sky Scanner. It's got random good synergy with Gadrak, which would still be playable in the Houndmaster deck. Has good synergy with Houndmaster. Not giving up much for it. Ghostlight, but like I said, we're kind of far away from that based on our first 3 picks. You know, I'm fine taking Sky Scanner here. I think it's actually a fine pick for us. Kind of makes sense with what we've already got. Alright, well, I love Kitesail Freebooter. It's one of my favorite cards. No good red, no good white. Freebooter is by far the best card in here. This is a real game flipper 2-drop. You want it in all of your black decks are happy to run this. You just get hand information plus random duress. Really good. Also a finishing blow in here, which is playable, not great. And some good blue, but yeah, we're going to take Freebooter and be happy enough about that. Okay. So, no good white again. No real good black. Best card is probably Larcenist. I don't really like the Sanctum in general. I could just take it randomly in case somehow this molds into some shrine deck of some sort. Doesn't seem likely. Still have a chance to be black-white. I don't really like the Corpse. I like the Scarring. Larcenist is the best, but I think we're involved in enough colors where we don't need that. I'll take the Shieldmate. You know, it's actually... I've come around on Shieldmate. I didn't really notice it in the beginning, but it turns out to be pretty good in this format with your worded battlements and random synergies with Alpine Houndmaster. Well, there's Sanctum of Tranquil Light. We did just pass the red one. Carrion Grub is probably the best card. This isn't quite the right archetype for it if we do end up black-white, but it's got a huge butt. It's a good blocker. I'm fine taking it. Alright, another grub. I'm okay with that. I mean, I like Deathbloom Salad a lot, but I'm okay taking another grub. So now, I mean, it's good with Gadrak randomly. I'm not sure if maybe could be Rakdos still. We don't have any sack synergies yet though. But, I mean, grubs are definitely worthy of taking there. So we can take Solidarity. Could be like a black-white good stuff. Patrician is a lot less exciting as just a 3-mana 1/4 flying lifelink, but it's still pretty good. I guess we can take Solidarity. Blackguard's pretty underwhelming. And another Shieldmate we don't really need. Alright. So we have Vessel. We don't have a means to bring it back. Or we take Containment Priest, just a flash blocker. I mean, or we take a Prismite for Gadrak, or a Short Sword for Gadrak, but I guess I'd rather have a Containment Priest. Good against Resurrection. I don't know, Surprise Block can be good. So, we can take the Thrill here. If we do end up red, it's actually nice. I'm not quite sure what our second color is yet. I think we're going to let the packs sort of decide that. Take Prismite or can take Meteorite here. We don't need the Jungle Hollow, I don't think. We don't really have anything big for Meteorite, but it's probably the most playable. Another one, or Sanguine Indulgence. I mean, I don't know if Black-White Life Gain is going to pan out, but I'll take Indulgence anyway. I guess it kind of has synergy with Carrion Grub. Pass the green card. Scarring. Alright, 9 lives. So we can take another Patrician. They're the best payoffs for Black-White. If we don't get any enablers, it might still be okay. Plus it's randomly, it's just good with Solidarity. Yeah, you know what? We'll take Patrician. Hope to find some enablers. And probably just ditch red. And go Black-White good stuff. Not invest too much in forcing life gain synergies. And we wheeled Basri Solidarity last time. I wouldn't mind doing that again. I don't really like the grubs so much in here right now. Hopefully they can get a little bit better. But I think Patrician's just worth taking. Harbinger, jeez. Goreman's good. Chorister for life gain. Good with Solidarity. Goreman's pretty awesome though. Just a big flying finisher. It's also randomly good with grub. Alright. I want these grubs to be good. And Chorister, we're giving up a little bit of like Patrician value. But I'm okay with that. Goreman looks like it's going to be good in here. As much as I love Tutelage. There's the Sanctum of All. I think we'd probably just take a Swift Response. It makes sense. It's good removal. We actually don't have any removal. Infernal Scarring might actually be playable in here with double Patrician. That's weird. Never thought I'd see the day, but kind of makes sense. So we'll take the Swift Response over like a Crypt Lurker. I'm fine with that. Alright, Silver Smoke Ghoul. So now we're running into the problem is we have all of the big payoffs with none of the enablers. That's usually the better problem to have. Usually the enablers are easier to find, like Radiant Fountains or whatever. But definitely taking Ghoul here. Get another payoff. Hope to find some enablers. Alright, there's an enabler. We can take the Revitalize. We have 3 pretty big payoffs for it now, so I'm okay with that. Taking it over Vren Wingmare. Seems fine. Alright, another Swift Response. Another chance of getting Solidarity. Solidarity number 2 for 2 patricians is pretty good. I still kind of like the swift response though. It's just, it buys you time. Kind of like what we're doing in the late game already with double Grub, Gourmand. Actually, Grub and Ghoul is kind of nice too, randomly. I do think Solidarity looks kind of good. You don't want to have too many of them though if you don't have a ton of creatures. Well, get a third patrician, so we are just payoff.deck without the enablers right now. Here's one, the fountain. We want that. We take all fountains from now on. So Imp can buy us some time. I mean, there's a Blood Glutton. Even with triple patrician, I don't like it that much. Charger is going to be good with patrician. We probably take that. It also just randomly trades early, but with patrician, it's like a 6-point life swing. 9-point, I guess, if you include the life link, because you're making them lose 6 and you're gaining 3, so it's a 9-point life swing with patrician. Yeah, we take the Charger over the Imp. Another scarring now with 3 patricians. I think that actually makes sense. So getting the Chorister is really nice. Alright, this deck came together. We actually have a really solid looking. Guess I take Glutton. I don't want to play it. Another Charger. That's a gift. I think I can already ditch the Glutton. So, take a Cove. And we have a whole pack to add even more value to this deck. That's pretty sweet. We only have 1 Revitalize. We didn't get any Radiant Fountains. With triple patrician, I think you play as many fountains as you can jam in the deck. Indulgence is looking good. I don't think we're going to need the Meteorite. Might not need the Sky Scanner either. It is good with Solidarity. Idol of Endurance, it's cool. Griffinary is good. It's a lot better when you have actual enablers for it. I mean, we kind of do, I guess, with patrician plus, because we're probably playing the scarring. All right, you know what? We'll try it. We're going to hope to find some Revitalize here. Acolyte would be good too, though, especially with the patricians. I could see taking Acolyte here, actually. I think I will. If we wheel Airy, good. If we don't, we just don't have enough. I don't think we have enough. We have a decent amount of enablers for it, but I'd like some more. Anthem. Wow, this deck is sweet. Definitely taking Anthem here. Never looking back. Temple, I don't mind that, but I kind of want protection now. I mean, technically we already have a deck, but I could use some upgrades. And you never don't play Feet. But Temple makes our mana better, which is nice. And it randomly scries. I don't think I can ever pass a Feat of Resistance. It just makes the deck, and it's just amazing every time. So, we'll take it. Figure out cuts later. 4th Patrician, yeah. We're just going to keep playing them. Ditch the scanner now. I might be off Grub too. I don't think I've ever had 4 patricians before. I've had 3. We could take the Imp or we could take the Replicator. I mean, we have 4 patricians, we have 2 scarring, we have 2 chargers. We don't really need the Replicator. Could just take the Imp. Imp to me makes more sense with Solidarity and Anthem. Just get more cheap Death Touch stuff that buys time. Yeah. I think Replicator would have been fine there too. So, the second Indulgence we probably don't need. Take the Enforcer. We've got Imp plus 4 patricians now, so it's a good amount of flyers. Alright. And like I said, we might just be off Grub now. I don't think we need the Priest. Take a second Feat. be happy enough about that. 5 patricians. I mean, yes, but that's just nuts. I think I've ever had that many. 5, and we got the Airy back, which unfortunately isn't even that good in here. I mean, it is now with, yeah, I mean, we're still definitely playing it because we have enough means to make these patricians get in for 3. So, all right. As I speculated, we got it back. We don't need the Rise again. I guess we can take Shieldmate. I don't think we need it, but it's actually not bad in here. Got the Temple back, too. What a gift. This deck worked out really nicely. Don't need the Gluttons. Don't need Steward. Yeah, this deck is really strong. I might even... Do I play 3 Scarring with 5 Patricians? I might. To figure that out. I mean, it's pretty amazing with Patrician. We didn't get any Radiant Fountains, but I'm not going to complain about that. So, we need to make 5 cuts. And we have 16 creatures, so I can probably cut the Enforcer. Shieldmate's actually going to be good as early blocker, plus Anthem 2/4 for 1 mana is great, as well as the Solidarity. Enforcer is kind of good in here because we have 6 flyers, but I think it gets the boot. It also is random. The Shieldmate's also randomly good with the Acolyte. Man, did that decision pan out. Passing the Airy for the Acolyte and then get the Airy back. I mean, I don't think we would have gotten that Acolyte back. I would have been shocked if we got the Acolyte back. 3 Infernal Scarring seems excessive. Even with 5 Patricians. Like, we already have Chargers for them. Probably have to cut at least one of those. This is going to start getting tough now. Because I do think that we want to... I mean, I could cut Gormand. I think we still want to do 17 lands. Thankfully, I've got the Temple of Silence and the Indulgence, which both kind of help us recoup some value. But I've got to figure out some real cuts here. It might be Gormand. Like, we're just riding the Patrician value train here, I think. And we've got the Scarrings, which I think I do want to play with Patrician. It's just too good to pass up that opportunity, I think. Alright, Gormand's gone. Pretty tempted to cut 1 Shieldmate, but then we're down to too few creatures. So what do I cut instead? You can kind of count Griffin Airy as a creature. So we're back at 15, sort of. I'm thinking we have to cut a Scarring, at least 1. As much as I want to run it, we've got 2 feats, a Solidarity, and an Anthem, so, and an Acolyte. I mean, we need a lot of creatures in here, so I can't cut any more creatures. I could technically run 16 lands, but I mean, mana sink-wise, we have a Chorister. Value-wise, we have Indulgence and a Temple to help smooth our draws out so we don't get too flooded. This is really challenging. I might still cut the Infernal Scarring as much as I like it with Patrician. To me, it makes more sense to maximize the value of our pump effects, of which we have Chargers, Solidarity, Acolyte, Anthem. Like, Scarring, you get more turns of it on a Patrician, and you punish their removal with getting a card draw out of it, but Charger gives you a body that you can trade with on the ground, which is good, or attack with. Solidarity is a permanent counter. Now granted, it only turns it into a 2/5 lifelinker, but are you really unhappy getting in with your 2/5 lifelinker for 3 mana? No. You're not getting the extra value, but it's good enough without it. This is a tough little deck to build. This is the first time I've ever had this problem, where you have all the payoffs, none of the enablers. It's always the opposite problem for me. So I'm kind of surprised to see that, actually. This is a better, in my opinion, a much better problem to have than not having the payoffs. I'm used to not having the payoffs. This deck has excessive payoffs and not nearly enough enablers. So it's just odd. But I mean, I think this is the way we run it. Got our early blockers that get bigger with our Anthem effects. Yeah, I think this is it. And I want the 17 lands because, I don't know, I just don't want to miss on lands for this deck. It doesn't look like, I mean, our curve's not very high, but we have a tempo, we have an indulgence for card value. It's tough, actually. We have a mana sink. I kind of wish we had more choristers. I would trade these 2 shieldmates for choristers in a heartbeat. But this seems fine to me. Alright, so a lot more white. No double black. So we'll definitely, I think we'll do 1 extra white. Which is fine. And 7 black. So, I mean, we have more than twice as much white than black. So, and actual double white. So it makes sense to do the extra white. Okay. Yeah, this deck is pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. I'm excited to see what we can do with it. We'll see you game 1. This is a great hand. Alright. Hopefully we can get that indulgence back soon enough here. It's kind of a surprising one. I mean, if they play Eliminate on a shieldmate, makes me think they have removal for this too. Alright, well, we can get them both back with a land. I guess we just revitalize and get them back now. Makes way more sense. We miss out on a little bit of attrition value, but actually missed our land drop, but it's not a big deal. I'd say we did pretty good. Got rid of 2 premium removal spells, and now we can just play with attrition. Alright, we'll do it. I don't think that I'm going to block here. We'll see if they have the Hunter's Edge. Like, they could have just bluffed me real good there, but honestly, I think this is worth it. I want a white mana, really. If we get a white mana, we're in awesome shape. Bit of a miss there, though. So we can do the Charger. I think we do. It 9-point life swing, which is huge. But more importantly, it gives us a blocker for the Mauler. We miss out on some Griffinary value, but I think it's still worth it. That's fine. Alright, missing the land drops here though. And actually only having one white is kind of devastating. I think we actually have to get in and play the chorister. I don't want to, but because we're missing the white, we kind of have to. And we need the lifelink too. I wish I could protect this patrician, but I can't. Alright. Yeah, got the second white, that's good. So we can do Airy and leave up. We can do Solidarity and do Feat of Resistance. They're getting it for 12. 4 cards in hand. They haven't used tomes, so they have 4 more life, essentially. Can also do Shieldmate plus Ghoul. And then potentially do Solidarity plus Anthem. Also randomly have a blocker for the cat. If I want... I think we're gonna go Shieldmate, Ghoul. Although Shieldmate Solidarity is kind of good here. Alright, I'm gonna do it. I feel like I need to start gaining some life now. This does leave us vulnerable, but I think we need that life pretty badly. And potentially being able to go Anthem Feat next turn is pretty big. They didn't actually use Tome either, which is kind of important to note. I don't really have any enchantments, so this is okay. Oh, Snare Spinner, that's fine. Alright, so we got the 5th land. Can leave up 5 for the chorister. It becomes a 5/5. Gain 5, gain another 2. Can leave up Feat here too. This is tough. I think we just do the Airy. They can blow it up with the Brontodon. I don't think that matters though. Can attack with the Patrician. I wouldn't mind getting the Snare Spinner off the board anyway. Like, I could have used it before they block, but this is still fine. I can also randomly... I kind of want to get that Griffin, though. We're not really in a position to not drain them and make a Griffin here, in my opinion. So I think we're going to do it. Unfortunately, they have something. I guess they can use Brontodon. I don't know if that matters. So, I don't mind if they blow up the Griffin area either, though. Oh, that actually is brutal. So now I wish I had feeded past it, because now we're not gaining life, which is a really big deal. Yeah, that's pretty rough. So we got punished pretty badly by that decision to try and kill Snare Spinner. Village Rites is not a very often played card though, so I don't think that was a expectation of anything that would have happened. Village Rites certainly not in a deck like this. Like, why would that be played in a... There's no reason to assume that deck would be running that. We are at 8, so we can live 2 there, block here. Is that my best blocks? No. We could block like this. We take 6 and gain 2 and go to 10. Or go to 4 after damage. Okay. These are shipments, so I think that's going to be it. Well, at least they're tapped out, I guess, but we fell too far behind too fast. I think we easily could have won this game. So easily could we have won this game had we just drawn like a couple more lands. But now I feel like we need to get the Griffin. We just don't have enough. Straight up, don't have enough. I really wish we did, because like I said, I really think we could have won this. Super close. Super close. So if I had feeded, they'd still be at 1. No, they'd be dead. If I had feeded, basically Village... This is the most depressing thing I've ever said in my entire life. Village Rites won them the game. That is, that's the biggest heartbreaker I think I've ever heard in my life. I don't think I've ever had to say that before, but Village Rites just won them the game. Alright. We'll see you for the next one. Alright, we've got a good keep here. Imp into Patrician into Solidarity. Take another Patrician. So now we can go Imp into Patrician into Solidarity. Also good. Right, got swift response for that at some point. For now, we'll just play another... Actually, I think we can just get in with a Patrician here. Keep the Imp back for the Spellgorger weird. This might make them want to cast removal on the Imp, which I guess I would rather them do on the Imp than my Patrician. Alright, no plays there. So let's do Solidarity. Alright. So now we'll get in for 4. Right. So we've got a lot more cards in hand than we do, and we're not quite gaining enough life to get that patrician value yet. Alright, well, that's pretty cool, I guess. We're gonna get back inventory to draw 2. Seems pretty good. So just light enough where we can't trigger these. Alright. Tutelage is going to be pretty good. Let's see if they mill our patricians here. Not that I want to draw that. Glorious Anthem would probably be the best draw we could get right now. Indulgence would have actually been nice, not now, but a little bit later. Overload getting back inventory. Makes sense. So, guess we take it. Life gain doesn't really matter here. Not sure why they attacked. Griffinary, yeah, that's gonna do it for us here. So we get in with these two. Could actually do the shield mate too. This is fine. It's actually quite good. Oh, we can get the Silver Smoke Ghoul back at some point, maybe. So they need removal for the Griffin, and I think we still have Revitalize in here somewhere. Well, they had what they needed. So do we have Revitalize? Nope, we don't have Revitalize. Chorister will do it, but we have to survive one more turn. Alright, we'll see you for the next one. Alright, let's keep. I like this hand. We'll do the area here first. And get in. Might as well. So next turn we can scry plus Revitalize, which is pretty good. I think we'll do that. Acolyte we're definitely keeping. And Revitalize. And I guess we can attack too. So then we can Acolyte. Set up for a nice Chorister pump the following turn. Masticore. Alright, well, they got a little blocker there. Discarded a land. Sure. So we can make this a 5/5, which we will be doing. Guess they can double block. Oh, that attack is horrible. I love it. I hope they do it. Oh, geez. Wow. That was a mistake. That was a mistake. So they can use their dart to kill our Chorister, but it takes up their turn, and we've got 5 power flying in the air now. I mean, they can get a big weird. I don't know how much we care about that at the moment. Yeah, we're going to take it. Mm-hmm. Sure. So we'll smash back for 7. Gain 3, play a land, and then pass. They really should have kept 1 back, I think. Masticore did not do that much. So they're keeping the Masticore back now, which is smart. Arsonist we don't care about. Weird we don't care about. Alright. Well, I'm sure glad that they couldn't do anything about our Griffins this whole game. Because we went into full-fledged flood mode after our early plays. Sadly, Roman Ghostlight is the exact top deck they needed to not die here. So I'm kind of unhappy about that. It was literally the exact top deck they needed to get out of this situation. Because 1 flyer wasn't going to do it. They needed an actual flyer that could bounce my other one. So just remarkable that it worked out that way. I'm not sure what to do now. Do we have removal in our deck? I gotta look at my deck to see if we have any removal, because I might not want to actually trade. So we do have Swift Response. That's not good enough. We have Glorious Anthem. That's not good enough. 5 patricians. I think I'm staying back because we have 2 feet of resistance. So that would let us get by the Ghost Light. So we're going to actually hang out this turn. I have to remind you, the Ghost Light was a top deck too. So it's the only top deck I could possibly think of that could have gotten them out of that situation. That's not true. I guess Read the Tides, if they had 6 lands at the time, that would have gotten them out of it. It just turns out Ghost Light's, I guess, a common way to deal with it. Maybe it's not as unusual as I'm thinking, but I think it's more frustrating because it was top deck and it couldn't just be a flyer. It had to be a flyer that interacts. And they're attacking too. So 4, 7, 9, 12. I guess that means we have to block. Take it. So quite a few top decks that can get us there. And then they oddly did it after damage. So Feet of Resistance now I think is our only out. Staunch Shield Mate not so much. Staunch Shield Mate not so much. So kind of at like 8 life, but we know that they have an opt in hand. So I suppose that means we block like this, and then we take 3, 6, 10. So I have to block here too to not die. That's too bad. So we knew that Flood was a potential issue, but we actually lost to Screw, if you recall, in game 1. We definitely lost to Flood this game, and a top deck Ghost Light. So there were still quite a few circumstances that had to happen for us to lose in the manner that we did. Yeah. So we ended up going 0-3 with this deck, which is pretty shocking. This deck absolutely was better than 0-3. So pretty unhappy with how this deck performed. But I don't know what to say. What can you do? What can you do? So thanks for tuning in, folks. We'll see you for the next one.